welcome to the Deerwood Realty Show. My name is John Schink. I'm the founder and managing broker of Deerwood Realty in St. Louis, Missouri. And tonight we're going to go over a little story, and we're going to try and decide for ourselves, is what the story is saying accurate? Is it true, or is it just some puff piece in some online news space? What do you think about those tariffs, right? Have you heard about the tariffs? It's very confusing for me. 1 week we're going to have tariffs, the next week we're not going to have tariffs. 1 week one country is punished for tariffs, the next week no one's being punished for tariffs. It's confusing. I don't even know the levels that people are being, like the countries that are being tariffed at. I have no idea. And if someone told me, oh, well, we've got a trade balance with this country, how would I know the difference? So it's funny, in the real estate space, you'll get people that pontificate, like, this is what the tariffs will do. They have no idea. They have no idea. And so I just wanted to talk about it in that sense. And I saw this article, and I wanted to go through it with you. Let's get to it. Here it is. It says it was supposed to be the best spring home buying season in years. Then came the tariffs. Now, I'm telling you, as a real estate agent who has been beaten down heavily over the past 2 years, I had no inkling that this year was going to be better than the last two. No, I pretty much figured things are going to be bad because house prices are very, very high. And even if you lower the mortgage rate, okay, even if it comes down 200 basis points, you still have houses that are stupid expensive and they're not worth it. So that's a problem. It says jittery buyers are rethinking big purchases as sellers fret about falling prices. This article could be written every single day about the real estate market. Every single day. There's never a time when jittery buyers aren't jittery or sellers aren't fretting about falling prices. Every day of the year, you could write this article. So let's see how it goes. It says all the ingredients for a busy spring home buying season were there. Buyers had more inventory to choose from. Mortgage rates were holding steady, and showings and mortgage applications were picking up. Let's just go over the last line. Showings and mortgage applications were picking up. It's a dead cat bounce. How's that? They're so darn low that any sort of percentage increase, even if it's a number of like 5, it's just massive looking on the chart. So there were really no ingredients for a busy spring home buying season. There was definitely more inventory to choose from. Mortgage rates suck, and showings and mortgage applications are picking up. Well, great, you still got a mortgage at 6.9% on a 30-year fixed. It's not a great rate. It says now the volatility that gripped financial markets after President Trump announced sweeping tariffs on U.S. trading partners and continued even after he delayed many of the higher levies threatens to upend it all. Let me tell you something about the housing market. It's always being threatened to be upended. Nothing to see here. So far, nothing to see here. Now we get a quote. Sellers are concerned about their home values. Tell me one time when a seller is not concerned about their home values. One day. Buyers, even if they're not personally worried about their own financial position, are loath to put in an offer when the price might be 7% less a few months from now. Where the hell did they get 7% less? Not an article that's just going well with me. It says, another weak spring would put the country on course for a third straight year of dismal home sales. You know, it's like I've been through 2 of them. What's another year, right? Just over 4 million previously owned homes were sold last year, the lowest level since 1995. Early signs, including an uptick in sales in February, traditionally not a month where there's a whole hell of a lot of sales in St. Louis, suggested this year would be better. Now no one is sure. Let me tell you something. I wake up in the morning and I'm not sure if I'm going to brush my teeth. I'd like to. It's on the list of things I'd like to do. But I'm sure as hell not sure of anything. I'm not even sure I'm going to wake up in the morning. So take it from there. Sales down, prices up. On some corners of the internet, tongue-in-cheek posters have long rooted for a recession, saying they'll be ready to jump into the market as soon as home prices crater. Well, that's great. That's great. So say there's a guy on the internet and he lives in his mom's basement and he writes on Twitter or X, hey, I'm going to buy a house when houses are cheaper. Okay? Like, so what? So I just don't care about the buzz on the internet. Then going on, it says, the market volatility has had mixed effects on buying and selling around Seattle. Oh, really? That's weird. The volatility, the market, like, when is it not volatile? Do you think when I was during the Great Flu, when I was out showing houses to people at 2% rates, the market wasn't volatile? Anyway, this agent in Bellevue, Washington, who specializes in luxury properties, interest has been steady in homes below 1.5 million, and some entrepreneurs who think they can make more money during volatile financial markets are eager to explore purchasing in the ultra high-end segment. But demand has been weaker for homes between 1.5 million and 3 million, a price point many of the area's tech workers target. I have no idea. I think my average home buyer is at $300,000. It says a Redfin survey conducted between April 10th to 14th found that 24% of respondents are canceling plans to make major purchases like a car or a home due to tariffs, and 32% of those surveyed say they're planning to delay. Well, that seems to be statistically adding weight to your argument that tariffs are bad, I guess. Or maybe there's always about 25% of people who are canceling plans to make major purchases like a car or a home due to tariffs. Maybe it's due to who knows? Maybe it's due to the fact they might lose their job. Maybe it's due to economic uncertainty. Maybe they've lost their job. I'm always worried about losing my job. It's weird because I have my own brokerage, but whatever. 32% of those surveyed say they're planning to delay. You know, I've been planning on getting a new iPhone for work since before January. I just haven't gotten around to it. Does that make me, and it's got nothing to do with anything other than I haven't gotten around to it. It says bidding wars continue. Now here we go. Look, the market is awful. The market is awful. It's uncertain, but we have bidding wars? Despite the recent market volatility, home buying is still fiercely competitive in much of the country. Inventory is still low in many markets, especially along the coast and in the Midwest. Home prices remain near all-time highs. Yes, in St. Louis right now, it's very difficult to buy a house and get a good deal on it. In Detroit, Redfin principal Desiree Bourgeois said the tariffs may have slowed down the start to the spring selling season, but sellers still maintain an upper hand. By the way, how does that work exactly? Many listings in the area still command multiple offers and sell for over their asking price. Well, that sounds good. If you're a seller, what are you complaining about? You've got a house, you're selling over asking, and there's a bidding war, and we're going to complain about tariffs now. How do you tie those? How do you square those two things together? She says, I think it shows a lot of confidence in the market, even though there are some wild things going on with our trade wars right now. Now, look, we are not in, it's just everything's so over the top. Are we really in a trade war? Really? It's just, it's hard to put up. Okay. Sarah Cronon, a Chicago-based management consulting hunting for a home in the city, consultant, not consulting, is also no stranger to bidding wars. She's seen properties listed at $600,000 that end up selling for $675,000. Wow. Now the market volatility and potential for a looming recession have her questioning what she should look for. I'm always questioning. After initially targeting larger homes, because she has a lot of money, she's begun viewing smaller 1 and 2 bedroom options that would come with a lower monthly mortgage payment, with plans to upgrade later when she knows the economy is on firmer footing. This woman is brilliant. She knows when the economy is going to turn and it's going to be perfect. Why is she wasting her time trying to buy a house? She should be buying stocks. At the same time, to hedge against possible job loss, well, wait a minute, that's not strong economic footing. She's seeking to boost the income she brings in from side gigs like running an Airbnb in Italy, consulting with prospective international home buyers, and selling vintage housewares. This woman is not your typical home buyer, okay, under any circumstance. She says, should I really sign up for a mortgage that's expensive? Now I'm rethinking my strategy. Consulting with prospective international home buyers. What the hell? What are you doing? Hey, let's buy an Airbnb in Italy. I hope I didn't bungle this. Yes, I didn't bungle it. So I'll go back to that right there. Well, there you go. We've got people that are upset about the tariffs, and they've managed to write an article that buttresses their view. Look, if you're going to buy a house, okay, go out there, buy a house. Do you know that the market's going to get better in 6 months? No. You know if it's going to get worse? Who knows, right? Are you looking for a place for you, your family, a place to settle down, grow roots? Buy a house. Similarly, if you're going to sell, say you're dead, probably should sell. You're not going to need to occupy the home anymore, okay? Say you've got a divorce, a life-altering situation. Sell. Like, let's assume that you screw up the home buying process, right? You buy at the very, very top. Well, if you stay there for 10 years, you'll probably be okay. The housing market's totally rigged. It's totally rigged. I mean, I think there's been like 3 years where the prices have gone down since 1950. That's not a rigged market. I don't know what is. I don't know what is. So that's my take. Don't worry about the tariffs. If you want to buy, buy. If you want to sell, sell. If you know someone in St. Louis who needs to buy a home or needs to sell a home, you should mention to them that I exist. I could use the business. Let's be honest. With that, I'm going to head on out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will catch you on the next one.